Used to say New England. I used to say the Patriots. I'd love to be able to say the Patriots. He's a great guy, great coach, but they have a little hard time. But what's going on with the Patriots, huh? But he's a great coach, and he'll figure it out somehow. He's going to figure it out. But that was not a good game last night, was it, huh? But it's like playing a professional team. It's ridiculous for him to be negotiating with these people. These people, I got to know them all. They're at the top of their game. They're at the top of their game. And we have somebody that 30 years ago wasn't at the top of any game. He wasn't 30 years ago. Never was. He was a glad hand. That's all he was, is a glad hand. And Ted Kennedy told me that, a friend of mine. Can you believe he was a friend of mine? But he was, for certain reasons. As president, I stood up to China like no administration has ever done before, bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars, pouring into our treasury, and took it right out of China. I even got the farmers plenty of people in here, but I got the farmers $28 billion from China. Who the hell else is going to do that? My people told me, please, sir, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't like you, sir. You sound so arrogant. Because I went to Iowa, Nebraska, different places, and I'd say, we're going to win your states so big, farm states. We're going to win Wisconsin. I did so much for them. I got $28 billion. Think of that. You know, that's all these people, because they were taking advantage. I asked our Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue. I said, Sonny, what do you think the damage has been that they've caused over the last number of years? Before my term, they really caused tremendous damage to the farmers. And he comes back 2 days later. He says, sir, it's approximately $28 billion. I said, all right, good. I'm going to take $28 billion. I tariffed them. I got $28 billion for the farmers. Who else would do it? By the way, who else would do that? Who else would even think of it? Can you imagine? Who else? Do you think that the sanctimonious or any of these people? Do you think Biden? How about Biden? He doesn't know he's alive. Biden is going to say, let's get $28 billion for the farmer. Biden doesn't even like farmers, if you want to know the truth. He doesn't like farmers, and he doesn't like minorities. That's true, isn't it, huh? And nobody ever says that, but it's true. He doesn't like minorities. But, you know, you take a look at that, and I'd say, well, I'm definitely winning Iowa. I'd go into Iowa and make a speech. We just got back, and it was great. And I said, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I know I'm going to win Iowa. And my people said, oh, that's so arrogant. I said, I got them $28 billion. Who the hell else is going to do it? And I say it, and everybody laughs, so we all have a good time. But it is true. I got them $28 billion. How the hell do I lose a farm state if I got you $28 billion? But Ron DeSantis opposed my China tariffs. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars. The 28 was a portion of it, and we gave that to the farmers, but we took in hundreds of billions. Not one president of our country has taken in 10 cents from China, not 10 cents. And I took in hundreds of billions of dollars. They didn't like me too much. They didn't like me too much. But very simply, Ron DeSanctimonious, and I'm not even sure I'm supposed to be wasting my time talking about him because I hear he's so far down. Could you tell me, is there anybody else I'm supposed to? Bird brain, maybe? Bird brain? Do I talk about anybody else? Because he really has. He's fallen like a wounded bird from the skies. But he sided with the communists in China, and I fought for the workers of America. He was against what we did. He was very much against what we did. And perhaps most offensive of all to the people of New Hampshire, DeSanctimonious pushed a 23% national sales tax, which means he's 100%, in my opinion, unelectable when you do that. He also, you know, the sales tax was one thing, but he also pushed very strong on doing damage, bad damage, very bad, and maybe even extinguishing a thing called Social Security. And he wanted the minimum age to be 70. He voted on it 3 times, by the way, so, you know, it's hard for him to deny it. But the national sales tax would pulverize the middle class and decimate the hardworking families of this state almost more than most others. And it's never going to happen. We're never going to let that happen. One thing about a politician, when they have an idea and then they always go away from it during an election. No, I was only kidding when I said I'm going to pulverize Social Security. I was only kidding. But they always go back to it, right? They always go back to it. And they go back to their first idea. That's where they are. DeSantis also very much hurt Medicare And he wanted to hurt it badly, but it got voted down. As your president, I proudly ended the disaster known as NAFTA, the world's worst trade deal probably ever made, and replaced it with the USMCA, that's Mexico, Canada. And it's, they say, the best trade deal ever made in the country. Actually, believe it or not, the deal I made with China is, I think, even better. They have to buy $50 billion of product, but I don't even talk about it because of COVID. I don't even talk about it. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had COVID, and then I built it again, rebuilt it again. The stock market was actually higher than it was pre-COVID. It was pretty amazing. We did a great job on something that nobody had any idea what it was, COVID, when it came in. We did a great job. Let the governors run it. Some of the governors did a great job, like Henry McMaster of South Carolina, and Governor Nome. She was fantastic. South Dakota. And some others. Tennessee did a very good job. And they kept them open. They kept them open. Florida, by the way, was not kept open, just in case you have any questions.